At the 99th proposal, my girlfriend finally agreed to marry me after 8 years of dating. But just as we were planning the wedding, she suddenly wanted to postpone it. She said she wanted to marry her childhood friend first because he was terminally ill and his dying wish was to be the first to marry her. I was so mad. My lips trembled, but she just grabbed the invitation from my hand and tore it up. Later on, my girlfriend married her childhood friend on the day we were supposed to get married. I, on the other hand, went along with my family's arranged marriage. Coincidentally, Mandy and I got married on the same day at the same hotel. "Dino, I knew you couldn't give up and would come," she said. "But don't worry, I'll marry you once I fulfill Oliver's wish." I looked at her calmly, said nothing, and turned to Mary Lisa. "Dad, I agreed to the marriage," I said into the phone. My dad's shocked voice came through. "Dino, weren't you supposed to get married next week? What happened?" I knew what surprised him. Mandy was the person I longed to marry for 8 years. Everyone at the company knew it. I had resisted my family's pressures many times because, in our large company, my dad and his 2 brothers had only me as their male heir. They worried about the family line ending and were always pushing me to marry. But I never agreed because of Mandy. I even left the company for her. Over the years, I proposed to her many times. Finally, she agreed and we set a wedding date. Just when I thought everything was ready, she changed her mind because of something her childhood friend said. Seeing my silence, my dad sighed. "I thought you'd finally get what you wanted. But that's okay. Forced love isn't sweet." His consoling words made me sigh softly, though my heart felt heavy. I used to think that being good to Mandy would be enough. Now I see how wrong I was about everything. Mandy and I met by chance 8 years ago before graduation. A friend dragged me to a bar, and I saw her being harassed by a rich kid. After rescuing her, she cried, saying she was homeless. Looking at this charming girl, I admit, my heart skipped a beat, and I made a sudden promise. "I'll be your home from now on." She wiped her tears and smiled at me warmly. "You mean it?" "Yes," I nodded firmly. I can't remember how I felt at that moment. All I recall is that since then, no matter the weather or the obstacles, I would rush to her side whenever Mandy needed me. Because of that bar incident, she hated rich kids, so I never dared reveal my family background for fear she'd distance herself. During 4 years of college, we became the couple everyone envied. In the sunshine, she was radiant, and with a soft smile in her dimple, I couldn't resist anymore. I took out the ring I'd prepared and proposed, but she said we'd just graduated and should wait. So, I waited year after year. The second proposal came after we both had stable jobs, but she said she'd wear the most beautiful wedding dress once we had our own home. The third was when I'd worked 4 years, saved up, and paid a down payment. Still, she waited until we had enough to start a family before committing. The fourth, the fifth, I lost count as 8 years passed. By the 99th proposal, she almost said wait again but realized there was no reason left to keep me waiting. She finally agreed, and I was overjoyed, naively thinking her patience was to ensure a secure future. I thought she'd be a great wife and mother, but everything changed when Oliver came back. Oliver was Mandy's childhood friend, like family to her. Shortly after setting a wedding date, he called Mandy, saying that he was sick and had no one to care for him. Hearing he was important to Mandy, I volunteered to care for him. But Mandy insisted, "Oliver's afraid of strangers. It's better if I go." At first, I thought nothing of it, but I soon noticed that Oliver frequently called for help, feeling unwell or lonely. No matter what Mandy and I were doing, as soon as she got a call from him, she'd run over, sometimes not coming back all night. I told Oliver that although they grew up together, men and women should have boundaries. Oliver, looking hurt, cried, "I'm sorry, it's my fault. I don't have any family left. I know you guys are planning a wedding. I just want to see Mandy often. I won't interfere with your relationship." Before I could respond, Mandy interjected, "Dino, I never realized how petty you are. If I knew you were so narrow-minded, I wouldn't have accepted your proposal. Oliver, let's go." Watching her leave with Oliver, I stood there in shock for a long while. Not long after, Mandy updated her social media with pictures of her feeding Oliver medicine. Someone commented, "Mandy, aren't you planning to marry Dino? This doesn't seem right. It's because Oliver's sick. Mandy's just taking care of him. Some people are just paranoid and make Mandy sad. Marrying a guy like that would be suffering. Someone like him doesn't deserve Mandy. If she hadn't pitted him, he'd never even have a girlfriend. You don't understand. Mandy's always liked Oliver. She only got drunk at the bar because Oliver left." Reading this, I finally understood why Mandy was drunk that night. This girl, who I cherished for 8 years, had been in love with someone else. But she had basked in my love without telling me. Then, Mandy texted me, saying Oliver had taken her phone, sent by accident. But deep down, she knew. What hurt me the most wasn't the photos. She didn't explain. I just felt stuck and frustrated inside. I drove straight to the Rainbow Bridge on the outskirts of town. Every night, there are private singing performances here. Mandy loved these lively scenes. In the early years of us being together, this place became our secret spot. Now it's packed and the music is loud. But I just didn't feel like enjoying it anymore. As I wandered aimlessly forward, I caught sight of Mandy and Oliver by the lake. She was holding her favorite candied fruit, snuggling tightly in Oliver's arms. As sweet as we used to be, Mandy looked up at him, her eyes filled with such strong love, as if acknowledging their past. Next moment, they kissed passionately, trying to melt into each other. After a long while, they reluctantly parted. "Mandy, if only I had come back sooner. I regret it so much. You're about to become someone else's wife." Tears welled up in Oliver's eyes. "Actually, there's something I never told you. I have a terminal illness. The doctors say I have 6 months left. I wanted to come back and see you years ago, but I thought I'd get better, then show you a complete me. It's a shame. Couldn't marry you, the whole you." Mandy's eyes widened, a mix of concern and surprise. Turns out, her true love didn't abandon her. He was just getting treated. "Oliver, I'll marry you. Don't worry. I never let him touch me all these years." She paused. "But he's taken care of me for so long. I can't be too heartless. People would gossip. After you're gone, I'll marry him again. But I still won't let him touch me. The one I love will always be you." I smiled bitterly inside. Is she kind-hearted or what? Once she spoke vows of love. Their passion couldn't be contained. Through the crowd, my heart felt sharply tugged. A suffocating feeling came over me. When I looked up, I caught Oliver's challenging gaze. He slowly raised a middle finger at me. I understood. He was claiming his territory. But I couldn't stop someone who didn't love me. For years, I tried so many times to get close to Mandy, but she always kept her distance when we were outside. I thought she was just shy, but today I realized, when love can't find an outlet, she'd stop at nothing. I turned and fled, stumbling like crazy, itching to leave this place. I barely made a few steps, before tripping over something, falling face first to the ground. People stepped aside, struggling to get up. I saw Mandy walking slowly, arm in arm with Oliver, trying to hold onto what little dignity I had left. I scrambled up to leave, but Mandy called out to me. With a complicated look, she opened her hand. She was holding the amulet she prayed for at the temple back then, after I got hit by a car, saving her. It fell off without me noticing earlier. Why not take care of this? She seemed to scold, but I didn't want to reply. After standing silent for a while, seeing my bloodshot eyes, she finally showed some reluctance, handing me the amulet, telling me I had a soft fate prone to disaster, and reminded me to take care of it. "Mandy, you've been my biggest disaster." Feeling bitter, I accepted it quietly. Mandy wanted to say something, but after a glance at Oliver, she seemed to make up her mind. "Dino, I want to talk to you about something. Oliver's really sick this time. His last wish is to marry me fully. But don't worry. After I accompany him on his final journey, I'll be yours again." Looking at her pitying gaze, like it was charity, I suddenly felt tired. If she doesn't love me, I don't want to hang on to her anymore. I raised my head, staring at Mandy. "I'll let you guys be. In the past, Whenever she'd go to Oliver when he called, I'd argue with her, saying she spent more time with him than me. But this time, I didn't fight it. Mandy was stunned, not expecting me to agree so easily. She tried to speak, but Oliver stepped in. It's great you agreed. I don't have long left. I realized my feelings too late. But Mandy and I are just doing it for formality. Don't take it to heart. I wasn't angry, responding calmly. Yeah, congrats on growing old together. Oliver seemed pleased, showing no signs of illness. Though I knew he was faking, I just didn't care to expose him. Whatever Mandy intended to ask, she didn't. She gave me a complicated look, then left with Oliver. With no more songs in the air, and no one around, I went home. But as soon as I walked in, I heard Mandy on the phone. I'm just granting Oliver a wish. It's not like I'm not gonna break up with him. Mom, don't worry. He loves me too much. When it rains, he'd catch a cold rather than let me get wet. During the accident, he'd rather get hit than let me get hurt. How could he bear to break up with me? Don't worry, he'll come around. Pain twisted my heart. So Mandy knew how much I loved her, but she used that love to hurt me. Hearing the door, she quickly hung up, trying to act like nothing happened. Dino, I know you're jealous. Don't make a fuss. Oliver and I are just for show. Nothing will happen. Once Oliver's wish is fulfilled, I'll be all yours. You've proposed so many times. Haven't you always wanted to be with me? I scoffed inside. She may not be with Oliver physically, but she's already crushed my pride. Remember when Oliver first came? He'd call me bro every time. Not long after, he acted like our home was his. Once, when Mandy was in the bathroom, he deliberately spilled freshly made food on himself. When Mandy came out and saw, she asked what happened. Oliver looked at me with eyes full of grievance saying, Bro, I'm sorry. I'll clean it up. I won't come again. Hearing that, Mandy confidently assumed that I didn't want Oliver to come over, and even bullied him. She slapped me right then and there. Dino, I've noticed since Oliver arrived, your heart has become so petty that nothing else fits anymore. Tonight, get out. Don't come back home unless you apologize. That night, I didn't take a bite of dinner before Mandy kicked me out, and they spent the whole night together, just the two of them. Dino, I'm talking to you. Can't you hear me? Bringing my thoughts back, I looked at the person I've loved for 8 years and said calmly, I'm not jealous. I'm doing just fine. Saying that, I walked toward the guest room. Since being kicked out that day, I haven't slept in the master bedroom. Just as I took a step, Mandy grabbed my hand. Dino, it's been a while since we slept together. Tonight, without glancing back at her, I yanked my hand away. No thanks. Doesn't Oliver want you whole? If something improper happens, wouldn't that be unfair to him? When the guest room door closed, Mandy was still standing there, dazed. The next morning, I planned to cancel the hotel reservation. Mandy doesn't like rich kids, so I didn't book anything fancy or invite many big shots from the business world. But as soon as I got up, I noticed a lavish breakfast spread on the table, right to my taste. Mandy came out of the kitchen smiling, asking me to try her cooking. She never makes breakfast in the morning, so why now? Is she feeling guilty about the delayed wedding? Seeing her in a good mood, I didn't want to ruin it, so I decided to give it a try. But just as I opened my mouth, she said, Dino, our original wedding was 5 days from now, but since we have to fulfill Oliver's wish first, I was thinking, why not use the setup we originally planned? I should have been furious hearing that, but I remained calm, losing all appetite. I said softly, if that's what you like. Then I grabbed my briefcase and headed out. Meanwhile, Mandy, lost in her chat with Oliver, didn't care whether I ate anything. Heading downstairs, I got a call from my dad. Dino, everything for the wedding is ready. It's on the 18th of this month. I've sent you the address. Make sure to be there on time. Don't worry, Lisa's parents may have agreed to the marriage due to facing bankruptcy, but you remember their daughter from when you were little? She's beautiful and kind. She won't give you a hard time. Images of many people crossed my mind, but I couldn't picture Lisa's face. I nodded, looking at the address, and said softly, Dad, I'll be there on time. You guys take care of the wedding arrangements. Just after hanging up, I ran into Mandy's friend, Lily. Since I got with Mandy, she's never liked me, kept saying I'm not good enough. Seeing me, her face was full of mockery. Dino, never thought, did you? Chased Mandy for 8 years, and yet, she's marrying someone else. You were never more than a toad reaching for a swan. Right as she finished, I heard a cold voice behind. Lily, I said it's just to make Oliver happy. I'm still marrying Dino, and we'll be together forever. Show him some respect. Hearing that, Lily pulled back her head, looking at a furious Mandy, reminding me of the past when she defended me against doubters. But what's the point of putting on a show now? I can't forget the words she whispered to Oliver on the Rainbow Bridge. She asked, Dino, I saw you on the phone earlier, heard you say wedding. I looked at Mandy calmly. No big deal, I said. My dad was just checking on the wedding prep. Mandy looked understanding. Did you mention the wedding's postponed? I did. Mandy nodded, satisfied, but then spoke like it was charity. Dino, don't worry. I'm just doing this for Oliver. Once that's done, we'll marry again. Also, hope you'll attend my wedding with Oliver. I will, but I'm heading home to my folks for a bit. Might not make it. Our wedding's off for now, so why go back? It's called off. But a wedding's still on, so I have to go back. Mandy thought I was hurrying back to discuss the wedding delay with my family, and smiled. She wanted to say more, but then her phone rang. It was Oliver. Whatever he said, it made Mandy grab her friend's hand and rush off. In the next 4 days, I visited every place Mandy and I used to go, saying goodbye to the past, since amid the crowded future, we're likely never meeting again. On the 5th morning, I dressed up and headed to the hotel like planned. Lisa and I met in the past few days, and were quite content with each other. But as soon as I got to the hotel, I bumped into the last person I wanted to see, Mandy. She looked stunning in a wedding dress, just like she did when we first met. But I didn't feel anything, just curiosity. I remembered her planned venue wasn't here. Maybe seeing my puzzlement, Mandy smirked. Dino, the hotel you booked was way too low end. Oliver didn't like it. This is the biggest hotel in town. Didn't expect both our changes of place. But you found me anyway. You must really love me, even if it's just for show. You aren't giving up. But I warn you, today is my big day with Oliver. Don't cause trouble. Mandy, before I could respond, the butler spotted me and hurried over. Sir, Miss Lisa has arrived. The wedding's about to start. You should get ready. I nodded, then glanced lightly at Mandy. Don't worry, I won't be a bother anymore. With that, I walked towards the adjacent banquet hall, with the butler, shaking hands with the arriving business moguls. Mandy stood there, stunned, looking at the rows of luxury cars, then glanced at her wedding venue. Though lavish, it seemed so modest in comparison. Her face darkened. Whose wedding is next door? Someone passing by reminded her. Didn't you know? Today, the big shot Dino and Lisa got married in Haicheng. It's already trending online. Once I entered the hotel, I stopped caring about how Mandy was doing. I stood at the hotel entrance to greet the important business figures who made time in their busy schedules to attend. Most of them have ongoing collaborations with my family, so naturally I had to be on my best behavior. Just then, a Rolls-Royce slowly drove up in the distance. Through the crowd, I watched a lady step out, gently assisted by others as she walked. She was my bride for today, Lisa. Before meeting her, I never imagined she'd be the one. Lisa and I grew up attending the same private school. Back then, as a little girl, she often got bullied, wiping her tears secretly in the corner. I couldn't stand the kids who bullied her, and despite taking a beating, I'd go wild and chase them away. Little Lisa, with her big wide eyes, would look at me, full of admiration. Braving the pain, I'd thump my chest and say, Don't worry, I'll protect you. From then on, every time someone bullied Lisa, I'd stand up for her. But soon enough, Lisa transferred schools due to her family's relocation. As we grew up, the little shadow of her slowly faded from my memory. Unexpectedly, due to some twist of fate, she became the bride I was to marry into a union. Make way, my family's sisters and cousins said as they ushered away the inconsiderate reporters. In our family, my uncles didn't have any sons, so I became the most favored one. Even the youngest cousin always wanted to share her treats with me. But later, I distanced myself from them. Because of Mandy. They all knew she had turned down my marriage proposals multiple times. They even discreetly gathered information about her, and unanimously believed she wasn't the right match for me. But back then, I was head over heels in love, deaf to any advice. Lisa walked toward me with a gentle smile. She looked like the most beautiful flower in the world, blooming just for me. Long time no see, she said. Lisa had grown into such an elegant woman. Didn't we just see each other a few days ago? I replied. With a serene smile, she said, a few days can feel long too. Before I could respond, reporters with cameras suddenly bombarded me. Dino, your previous girlfriend is having her wedding in the neighboring banquet hall. How do you feel about her marrying someone else? Is today's wedding sincere or out of spite? Dino, we heard you and Lisa are having a family-arranged marriage. How do you feel about a marriage without love? We heard you had a girlfriend for 8 years. Did you choose to marry today because you were hurt by her unwillingness to wait? The questions kept coming. I hesitated for a moment, and my sisters glared fiercely at the reporters. The eldest, Linda, got furious. As journalists, do you have no respect for others? Do you think asking such questions makes you smart? Believe me, I'll complain about you. The reporter shrank back. Lisa smiled gently, addressing them. As Dino's bride, I think I can answer this. With Dino standing here today, he's already answered your questions. Hearing this reply, the reporter went silent, lowering his head. Lisa lightly took my hand. Dino, let's head in. The wedding is about to start. Facing such a graceful Lisa, the gloom in my heart seemed to lift. After arranging things with the host, I stood by the stage, waiting quietly for the wedding to start. And then, Mandy unexpectedly called me. Dino, what's going on? How'd you suddenly become some big shot? Weren't you the guy who hesitated over buying new clothes? I smirked coldly inside. For Mandy, I left the company before. My parents, pressured by the higher-ups, cut off my financial support, forcing me to fend for myself. Each time I got paid, a part of it would go to Mandy, and the rest I'd save. For her, just a little longer wishes. At that moment, I could feel Mandy's impatience and frustration over the phone. Say something. Are you deaf? From a distance, I caught a glimpse of Lisa waiting for me at the hotel entrance. Since I'd chosen to marry her, I couldn't keep entangling with Mandy. I didn't answer her question, just hung up the call. When the host called my name, I walked onto the stage with a smile. The host briefly spoke about my past, and as applause filled the room, Lisa, escorted by her father, approached with a smile. Eye to eye, we smiled. As I went over, Lisa's father had tears in his eyes. Dino, take care of Lisa from now on. She's a good kid. I know there's not enough affection yet, but now that you're married, I have just one request. Treat her well. He could have been more assertive, yet he said request. Watching his bent figure, I held him up and earnestly said, don't worry. Now that we're married, you're my dad too. I'll treat you well. Hearing this, he nodded. Then, he placed Lisa's hand in mine. Feeling the warmth from her soft hands, a flood of warmth enveloped my heart. In front of everyone's expectant eyes, the wedding officially began. The host asked loudly, Dino, looking at the girl in front of you, she'll become your wife. She'll stand by your side, face challenges with you, give birth to your children, and share your burdens. Please answer sincerely. Will you take her as your wife? The microphone came close to my lips. Looking at her, with a hint of anticipation in her bright eyes. I smiled gently and answered slowly, I do. I'll cherish her for a lifetime. As the words left my mouth, thunderous applause erupted below the stage. But then, suddenly, a loud voice boomed at the hotel entrance. Do you take this woman? This woman? Mandy didn't agree. Mandy, in the wedding dress we had picked out together, stood at the hotel door, fuming. Dino, she exclaimed, I told you before. Oliver's sick. His dying wish is to marry me once. If I grant his wish, I'll marry you afterward. Why are you so impatient? Everyone's eyes turned toward her, glancing at a shocked Lisa. I gripped her hand tighter. She seemed worried, but I reassured her with a smile. Don't worry, I said. Our wedding won't be ruined today. With that, I walked toward Mandy. She was still accusing and complaining. You hid your family background and betrayed our 8-year relationship to marry another woman. She yelled. Dino, you're a jerk. Hearing her, the lurking reporters quickly snapped pictures. I wasn't fazed. Instead, I smirked coldly. Mandy, having a wealthy family isn't the only reason two people should be together. And betrayal? That word seems wrongly placed when talking about me. Mandy's anger flared. How many times have I told you? Oliver and I are just going through the motions. Why can't you believe that? Her denial made me chuckle. Even now, she was making excuses. Mandy, you're not facing the truth. I took out my phone and played a recording. This is your love vow to Oliver. Listen for yourself. Mandy was stunned as I hit play. Oliver, I will marry you. Don't worry. I never let him touch me all these years. But he took care of me, so I can't be heartless. People would gossip. Once you're gone, I'll marry him again. But I still won't let him touch me. You're the one I love, always. Though the volume was low, it pierced the silence of the banquet hall. Mandy turned pale and looked like she might faint. I pocketed my phone calmly. Mandy, it's my big day. Please don't make a scene. As the words left my mouth, she seemed lost. Mandy, there you are. Oliver ran over, supporting her. He glared at me. Dino, what did you do to her? Why does she look so upset? Nothing. Just told her to follow her heart, I replied. Oliver looked at where everyone's eyes were focused and grew pathetically wronged. He said, Dino, stop being shameless. Mandy's been with you for 8 years. She's always liked you. I'm dying. She's just comforting me. Why can't you tolerate someone's kindness? Or can't you accept when people don't do what you want without retaliating? The cameras clicked loudly, and murmurs filled the air. Seeing Oliver's triumphant eyes, I was about to speak when Lisa stepped up, linking her arm through mine. If her marrying you is kindness, then my family nearing bankruptcy and Dino marrying me is kindness, too. His one word lifted that crisis. Lisa said. Oliver snorted. That's not the same. And you, don't be fooled by him. He may look noble, but he's selfish. Lisa smiled softly. That's none of your business. Oliver had nothing more to say, eyeing me with a jealous glare before leaving with Mandy awkwardly. Applause erupted, and some praised my choice of a wise wife. Lisa had always seemed gentle to me, but I was surprised by this side of her. As I gazed at her, lost in thought, she waved a hand in front of my face. Is something wrong? She asked. No, I chuckled, just thinking you're perfect. Lisa blushed. The wedding concluded successfully. Upon leaving the hotel, we encountered Mandy and Oliver coming out nearby. Meeting my eyes, Mandy looked at me with resentment. But she loved Oliver, so why was she discontent? Maybe because I stopped waiting, gave up on her? Probably lost the control she had over me. That night, instead of a wedding night, I retreated to the study. Lisa and I were now married but still relative strangers. Moving too fast didn't sit well with me. I figured Lisa felt the same. I needed to catch up with the family business after being away for so long. While reviewing records, my phone buzzed with a message. Surprisingly, it was from Oliver. The photo showed Mandy in a wedding dress leaning against him. Dino, the message read, the woman you love is in my arms now. Even as the young master of some great family, you can't keep your girl. I know you purposely got married next to us to make her regret and come back to you. Your plan failed. I coldly replied, you're overthinking it. I don't care about Mandy anymore. Keep her as long as you like. With that, I blocked him. People like him always misjudge others' thoughts. I didn't realize when the door opened until Lisa, in her pajamas, came in, draped a coat over me. "Honey, get some rest," she said softly. The word honey caught my attention. I looked at Lisa, and she gave a playful smile. "No matter what, we're married now. Calling you honey isn't wrong, right?" I couldn't help but smile. The next day, we headed to the mall to buy gifts to see Lisa's parents. They had only one daughter, and after the drama at the wedding, they were bound to worry. Just as we entered the mall, we ran into people I didn't want to see. Mandy was holding Oliver's arm, a kiss mark visible on her neck. But her expression was far from joyful. When she saw me, she froze. Oliver met my gaze, coldly staring. I showed no intention of speaking as I prepared to leave. Mandy called out, "Dino, I want to talk to you." Hearing that, a shadow crossed Oliver's eyes. He quickly said, "Mandy, what's there to talk about with him? He's got one foot in the bowl and one eye on the pot. Total scum. Why give him a chance?" Mandy seemed not to hear him. Biting her lip, she softly said, "Dino, now that I've helped Oliver fulfill his wish, pick a time. We still have a chance. And given that, while you two are married. As far as I know, you didn't get the marriage certificate. Didn't you say you'd only marry me in this life?" Hearing this, I could feel the person next to me gently tremble. Oliver got anxious. He was about to say something, but I held Lisa's hand tightly, calmly told Mandy, "Nothing to talk about. Lisa is my only wife. It's over between us." Oliver glared at me, said to Mandy, "Mandy, if he doesn't deserve you, why waste your breath? Don't worry. If he doesn't want you, I do." "Shut up," Mandy snapped impatiently, surprising Oliver. But she realized her tone was off immediately, said quickly, "Oliver, I didn't mean it that way. I'm just not in a good mood." Oliver's expression was still off, but he said, "It's okay. We're married. We should understand each other." Then, he suddenly extended his hand to me. "Dino, I was too impulsive before, since we ran into each other. Want to grab a meal together?" Oliver is a deep strategist, and knows when to advance or retreat. People like him are ones to watch out for. Mandy looked at me hopefully. I was afraid Lisa might not like it, but she smiled gracefully. "Sure, it's just a meal. Nothing major." At the table, Oliver kept talking about his short life expectancy, how thankful he was for Mandy's kindness, and some unwarranted hostility towards me. Seeing Oliver's change in attitude, Mandy's mood improved too, but when I still avoided looking at her, her face fell. Then she started enjoying Oliver's affection. I knew she was trying to provoke me. After all, I used to be at her beck and call. But now, I cared for another woman. Yet while serving Lisa some food, I said, "It's in the past." Mandy froze at my words, responded less enthusiastically to Oliver's care. Throughout, I constantly tended to Lisa's mood. As for them, they could do whatever they'd like. Before leaving, in the restroom, through the barrier, I overheard Oliver's conversation on the phone. "Now that she's married to me, Dino, as a young master, wouldn't marry a woman who's been with another. That woman treated me like that back then. Even caused me to lose Carrie. Making her lose happiness is just my first step in revenge. When she's relying on me, I want her to feel the same despair Carrie did before she passed. To regretfully seek forgiveness from Carrie." I didn't know who Carrie was, but I could imagine the hate on Oliver's face. When leaving the restroom, Oliver spotted me, regained his usual look, smirked at me. Mandy was someone I loved for 8 years. As I passed Oliver, I casually said, "You've got her now. Don't hurt her if you don't love her." Oliver's face twisted suddenly. "What do you know? You, as a young master, never worried over anything. But Carrie was different. Her health has been bad." But Mandy deliberately threw her medication away during a flare-up, leading her to near death. I went abroad for 8 years, just to cure her illness. But in the end, she still left me. Can you imagine how much pain, how much despair she felt all these years? Oliver's face was wild. Finally, he threatened me. I'm back. To destroy her. I don't care who you are. If you get in my way, you'll suffer too. Then, he left coldly. But when meeting Mandy waiting for him, he immediately smiled. I must say, Oliver's a terrifying person, but he's on the wrong path. Then, Lisa came by my side, gazing at the two not far away, smiled slightly. What's up? Still can't let go? I shook my head, looked down at Lisa. Lisa, you're my wife. I won't let anyone hurt you. Why the sudden comment? She looked down, blushing. Back home, I swung by the place Mandy and I once shared. Mandy was there alone. Upon seeing me, her expression flashed with surprise, but then returned to calm. What are you doing here? This was the house we saved up to buy together. I have the right to come in. Mandy's face showed a hint of sarcasm. Didn't think someone as prestigious as you cared about this. I intended to warn her about Oliver, but suddenly, the door opened. Wasn't expecting Mandy to share the place's code with Oliver so soon after marrying. Oliver walked in with a smile. Dino, what were you talking about with Mandy? Faced with his suggestive question, I was thinking up an excuse, but Mandy said, Dino, the money from the house you paid for, I'll pay you back once I've earned enough. Seeing her slightly reddened eyes, I shook my head and left. Besides the complications with Mandy, life went on. After telling Lisa about it, she supported having someone protect Mandy. But upon arrival, Mandy was already gone. Oliver also vanished. I realized he acted swiftly, worried I'd mentioned something to Mandy. I alerted the authorities. We teamed up to find Mandy. 2 days later, in an old rundown house on the outskirts of town, we found Mandy battered and bruised, and Oliver was killed during resistance. In his last crazed moments, Mandy, you wicked one. Had it not been for you, I wouldn't have lost Carrie. It's all your fault she got hurt. You've made my life miserable, so I'm gonna wreck everything for you. You can spend the rest of your life regretting it. Mandy got rescued, but she ended up with depression. They took her to a psychiatric hospital. She kept shouting, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I don't know their history, but one thing's for sure. She might never get over this. When I think about everything we went through, who would have thought it'd end like this? Suddenly, I felt a warmth on my back. I turned around, and Lisa was looking at me with big eyes. Honey, let's go home. I smiled a little. Happiness is right in front of me.